Blaze. Love you, man. I'm honored to be here. I'm trying to pull up my speech right now. Honored to be here with this class of 2025. I've laid with four of these Hall of Fame members: Ron Sherlin, Carl Gleason, Ron Sherlin, Marty Bigelow, and Wayne Otto. And I think I've only hit Carl and Ron. So I've hit Carl probably several times, but that's throwing 60. Ron took a 80-mile-an-hour fastball to the hand in 2003 and I smashed it. And that's the only bones I've ever broken. But it's an honor to be here with them. And I just want to say for the record, 30 years is a long time, but I've never bet on any PSSBL games. And the only steroids I've ever taken were given to me by Doc Keachley and Glenn Powers, who are also both Hall of Fame members. You know, I'm trying not to, I'm holding things back, and it's been a nerve-wracking day. It's been a nerve-wracking week for me, as Tom talked about Joe Townsend earlier. You guys, you got to appreciate every single inning, every at-bat, every interaction with your teammates, being in a dugout, smelling your glove, smelling the leather on the ball, smelling the grass, because you just don't know when that's going to end. And unfortunately, it ended way too soon for Joe Townsend. So just real quickly, I met Joe. He was in the Olympic division. I was in the Cascade division. I was in my mid-30s. He was in his mid-20s. We played an exhibition game here. It was a Safeco Field at the time. Same dimensions. And I faced Joe, right? He was 10 years older than me, and he hit the furthest ball ever off of me. I turned around with whiplash. It was hit the left center, probably 397. And I'm like, God, don't go out, don't leave the yard. You don't want to be the guy that gives up a home run here. Thankfully, the ball bounced on the warning track, went over the wall for a ground rule double. But I'll tell you what, I really wish that ball would have gone out right now. Although Joe did hit a lot of home runs in that. But we got to play together. In 2007, Tom put together a Gators team. We all wore Green River Community College Gator shirts. And that was a wild ride. You know, you've been around this game long enough. I've seen it all. You know, amazing comebacks, extra inning games, some epic ejections. So anyway, hats off to Joe, and just cherish every moment on the field. Cherish your teammates, because this is really special, what we all do. You know, again, as I said, playing this game as long as I've had, you've seen some amazing things. But there's some things you see that you'd rather not see, like Seiler and Ivan Mott naked in a hot tub. I've got stories about successes, but I know that we're limited on time, so my whole motivation I was playing softball, it was 1995. I saw an ad in the newspaper about the PSSBL, and you know, I played baseball all my life, like most of you, starting in Little League at age 5. And anyway, you know, I coach kids, and I tell them, you know, their window of opportunity is really small from age 10 to 18. And In the PSSBL, the window is always open. It's always open to improve. But my motivation for joining the league is I was 10 or 12 years old. My parents built a pool when I was 6. And so I swam every day. I threw the football in the fall and winter with my dad and my brother. And then spring and summer, I started throwing the baseball. And I developed the ability to throw things really hard and really far. But when I was 10, 12, last time I towed the rubber as a kid, I hit a couple kids, and I was walking the parking lot with my dad. Lost my dad in 1981 I was 18 years old, to early onset Alzheimer's. So he never got to see me pitch again, but walking off the field, I beamed a couple kids, and a mom from the other team came over to him and confronted him in the car and said, "That kid is gonna kill somebody. He should not pitch." And my dad shut me down. And I became an outfielder for the rest of my career until 20 years later I had this opportunity. So I got a couch at Goodwill, I got a bucket of balls. I warmed up for 3 or 4 weeks trying to hit the middle pillow of the couch from 60 feet away. And then went to the draft. I ended up being the #1 overall pick in 1997 for the Indians, thus donning the Wahoo today. In remembrance of that very first time in 1997 where I towed the rubber. I still have no control, right? But again, the window's always open, room for improvement, took some lessons, worked on my mechanics, worked on, I had a fastball, I had a knuckleball, and now I've got 6 pitches. And I teach, coach pitching. So anyway, this one's for you, Dad. I know you're looking down and smiling, and I really wish you could be here for this moment. I've had other pitching highlights. I still have goals. I have never thrown a no-hitter. I've thrown 2 one-hitters. One was a semifinal game, World Series in Arizona. The best game I ever threw was probably 2003 at Peter Kirk Park. I had retired 26 in a row. And so I'm 1 out away from a perfect game, and I walk the batter. 2 pitches later, Steve Renson hit it over the wall in left field, and we lost the game 2-1. So baseball is just baseball. You can have your best game and not end up winning, but that's not what it's all about. It's about the friendships and the camaraderie and all the people that I've gotten to know by being in this league, and it's priceless. I've been in a fraternity, and there's nothing like the PSSBL as far as the brotherhood. So thank you, Tom. Thank you, Jeff Tiger. Thank you, the board. Thank you, everybody that's here tonight. I struck out Jose Canseco. That's a great story, but I don't have time for it. If you want to talk to me about that, I'll gladly tell you a story. But I've met garbage men, lawyers, doctors, architects, engineers, plumbers, landscapers, and they're all part of my life. I tell my wife, I joke with my wife that she's gonna meet her next husband at my funeral. So come meet her later if you want. In closing, I want to thank all my catchers. And I hope I didn't forget anybody. Tim Dugat, Brian Morrison, Mike Jacobs, Stein Magelson, Ivan Mott, Greg Weary, Brad Hoban, Greg Morrison, Patrick Todd, Mark Mullins, Kurt Schmidtke, Ed Moriarty, Chet Morgan, Andrew Consuelo, Mooch, who can forget Mooch, Dan Glockner, Brandon Laub, and my favorite of all time, Blaze Bresco. Brian, I got a friend here that I've known since I was 6 years old. We played Little League together. Did you ever catch me?
Todd, no one could actually catch you in grade school. But you were the toughest guy on the team. Congrats, man. Congrats.
Lastly, I'd really like to thank my family for being here. My wife, who gave me a choice. The second year, our son, my first son, my only son was born, the second year of the league. And she said, look, you gotta choose one, golf or baseball. Because I can't have you gone for 10 hours every weekend, at least. So I'm glad I chose baseball. Because this wouldn't have happened otherwise. Thank you to Alex, my son, who inherited my baseball craziness, my love of the game. And my daughter's a baller as well. Alex and I have had the opportunity to play father-son together in Arizona, which is absolutely priceless. We've done everything there is together. He's taught me, I've taught him in a real game. I've, taken a ball first base from him at shortstop. We've batted next to each other in the lineup, and it's just been priceless. And thank you to my beautiful and extremely talented daughter for being here as well. You guys have all supported me. So I'm humbled, I'm honored, and I'm very grateful. Thank you. Thank you.